Okay, so lesson 4, taking the back. We saw section 1, which is how to actually move to the back from the mounted position. The indicator being that the hand crosses over and they start to come up on the shoulder, right? I have my hands out for base, and as they move, I step up to give them room. I slide the knee behind the head. When their hips come off the ground, my back hook goes in, and as they come to their knees completely, my second hook follows. My hands never leave the ground. Now I walk myself back, separate, walk back, sit low, over, under, bottom hand holds the top, head next to his, and then, only then, can I lift the hooks. And now we're going to see where he rolls. Okay, so he rolled. He rolled. Let's move over just a little bit. The position we just rolled into. Okay, let me take your back again like we just rolled over. All right, so here we are over under. My hooks are in, and we've just rolled. Now what happens? What happens if in the course of the rolling, my hooks are a little compromised and they start to slip out? Or maybe he's skilled at escaping, so he starts to do the runaway away from me. You want to try and put your back on the ground and face me, right? Other way. Yeah, trying to put it back on the ground and go towards the sky. Look, he's going to maybe turn over into this position. Maybe he drags his chest, his back, over my leg, right? Maybe he straightens the leg to pop the hook, it falls out, and then he puts his back on my leg and crawls out to the side here. Okay, that's one escape that he can use as a more advanced grappler. Or maybe my hooks just get loose. I'm going to do something called the remount technique. As soon as I see that my hooks are loose and compromised, I'm going to open the bottom hook and then cross the top hook over. And now look, this is very simple. You've seen this before. All right, so what did I do? From the over-under position where he's already rolled, if one of the hooks comes loose, place it next to him and cross the top hook over. At this point, I need to free my elbow. I want to shrink my elbow underneath, like this. It's just like the runaway, right? When we go down the mat, and we go feet, hips, shoulders, and we shrink the elbow before we sit up to the elbow and then the hand. And then we're just going to step over. One thing that happens is the leg underneath gets stuck. And you saw when we first demonstrated it, I paused there and struggled a little bit to show how the leg is stuck. And then when you watch the tape again, you'll see that I show how to remove it. So we're going to talk about that now. We're over under. And we fall, the hook comes out, and I step over with the top hook. And I start to move my elbow away, but I see the leg is stuck because he's still laying on it. So what am I going to do? I'm going to bring the hook back under, and look, I'm just going to straighten the leg. And he falls off. He falls off. And now I go to my elbow, and I step over, staying as close as possible here. Look, I just turn my hips over the top, and I'm immediately into a very wide and very low position. And again, I'd be looking to start my mount control. See, his hand was already outside my arm, so maybe he would try to do a little swim, and I'd start to swim, right? And we get into this head hug, back hook in, front knee open, low and wide. And we'll work all those together. We know how to control the mount. Right now, we're looking to keep the back mount as long as we can. And if he starts to escape, how do we not lose our dominant position? How do we go back to it?
You look like one of the dummies.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. So the video stopped earlier. We're in a digital space. I don't know exactly where we left off. But just to refresh the key elements of the remount technique, I've already taken the back, gone over under, head next to his, hooks in, toes pointed down, not crossed, feet inside the thighs, following him wherever he goes with the strong hook if he rolls this way, the strong hook here if he rolls this way. And now, because of either the thrashing about or my lack of hook control or his skill, my hooks are getting a little loose. They're getting a little loose, so the bottom hook comes free. So as soon as this happens, I want to step over with the top hook. And now I need to worry about my leg, right? To free my leg, look, I just push it south. And he falls off. And as soon as he's on the ground, It gives me a chance to mount. So I'm going to shrink my elbow back and underneath, just like I'm doing the runaway. Right to my elbow, sit up here, and just start to walk over. Look, I can use my hand if I want to pull me over. I like to reach like this so that my chest is on him and my hooks are tight here, hugging him, pinching him between my heel and my knee back here to make sure he doesn't move away. I trap the hips so he can't go any farther, right? And then reach like this. And as soon as I get to here, my knees are down. Look, use my chest to push him flat and then become very low and very wide and start to be prepared for any mount escape attempts he might make. You notice that we've been doing this from the over side, right? From the over side, from the strong side. It's possible to do it from the weak side too. It doesn't matter which hook comes free, which way we roll. Say we fall this way, and my low undergrip side is what's on the ground, and the hook comes out. I can still step over like this. I can still start to shrink. I can still put my foot under and stretch my leg south, and then come up to my elbow, and then step over. And put my chest down, and look, I use my chest to move him back. And I get low and wide if he puts the feet up like that. I put my feet inside and go to my Superman, right? Let's spin the other way. So over, under, the hook comes loose, or maybe he starts to turn towards me and put his back across my leg because he knows how to escape, and it frees the hook. As soon as that happens, step over, right, step over, straighten the leg on the bottom, shrink the elbow, shrink, 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 until I'm here, and then sit right up and over. And get low, feet together. Make sense? Okay, let's give it a shot.